And I know you have multiple identities in your life. You write in both English and Italian. You're a writer and a translator. You translate your own work, and you're also a teacher in Princeton now. And so I'm just wondering, how do these multiple identities work? Do you switch one off when you need to switch the other one on? Or do you just work and write bearing all these or multiple identities simultaneously? And how about those identities of yours? Do you think they conflict with each other at times? Or do they communicate with and nourish each other? I'm wondering, can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, this is such a beautiful and enormous question, and I will answer it because I think about it so much. I mean, it's what I've thought about all along, and I think the older I get, and the more I write, and the more I read, I begin to realize and appreciate just how central to the human condition this multiplicity of identity really is. And I think I was especially inspired in the anthology, someone like Primo Levi, you know, who self-identifies as a centaur, as a half man, half beast, you know, and he talks repeatedly about this condition of being split, of being divided, of being not one thing but two. And I kept seeing this in so many of the authors, and so many of the Italian authors that I was beginning to, as I said, beginning to study more carefully. And so really going all the way back to, you know, whether it's Manzoni or Dante, the entire Latin and the various dialects and so-called standard Italian in the 20th century, a writer like Grazia Deledda for art carries another language, this literary condition of, and so many of us are in this situation of being raised by a language, say in our homes, by our families, and at the same time, almost at the same time, finding this is very, my good friend, my dear friend, whose works, as he's writing, because we write from our life experience, and we go so deep when we're writing. And so there's always that other language, right? If you have it, there's always that other language that is part of the dialogue. And so I think about that, and I think about really how to appreciate and calibrate these different elements inside of me, right? Whether they're linguistic elements or whether they're real life elements. You just mentioned your son backstage, and you know, sort of having that split screen you have when you're a parent, of having a small child, having things to do. We're always, all of us, each of us is always grappling with this reality of being so many things at once. And I think that writing in a different language is a very radical way of insisting on something that's very basic and very common to human nature.
Yeah, so beautifully said. And